We're going to move on to bed mobility. When you first walk in a patient's room, most of the time you're going to be in bed. So you're going in the morning for ADLs, you're going in for evaluation. So you have to first get them from supine to sitting. That's the first step you're going to do in order to transfer them to anywhere. So I'm going to show you some therapeutic techniques of doing this that's going to utilize the patient's abilities, also putting them into positions where they're working against any spasticity or tone. So the first one, we're going to be rolling to the affected side. So we're going to have the affected side lead this time, so that's why Ashley is at their band on. So Ashley, I'm going to have you bend this leg for me. So I'm having her bend this leg so I can use that as a guide to having her roll. Because even if I just push down here, you can see her lower body's already starting to roll. Then I'm going to have Ashley look towards me over here. So can you look towards me? Because our head initiates our movements. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is move her arm here so that when she rolls, she doesn't roll onto her arm. So I'm keeping it safe and protecting it from the roll. My key points of control when I'm rolling her, if she needs it, so if she's like a moderate assist and she needs this help, they're going to be on her pelvis and on her scapula. So as like a moderate assist, I'm going to say, Ashley, okay, on the 3, we're going to roll, right? So do as much as you can, okay? Right. And if she was able to, she could use her strong arm and either as momentum, she can use it and pull in the bed rail and assist with this movement. So 1, 2, 3. So she's rolled onto her affected side, and she's getting all of that proprioceptive input and weight bearing onto that side. From here, I'm going to, stabilize her as she needs. And then I'm going to have Ashley, can you take your stronger leg, so this leg here, and I want you to interlace it with your other leg, all right? So putting your toe behind her ankle, and you're going to use the force of your stronger leg to push your legs off of the bed, okay? Moving towards me. Nice. So from here, we just need to get her seated, right? So I'm going to use a rotating motion. So my one hand is going to be moving up, and my other hand on her hip is going to be pushing down. So even if I was just to push down her hip, I'm not as strong as Mary with this, but even if I was just to push down on her hip.
Just get her knees over a little bit, and you know what? There'll be more momentum coming from getting your legs over a little bit. Yeah.
Even if I was just to push there, that alone is going to have her start to come up. But if she needed more help, If she needed more help, I could also put my hand under her and reach around under her scapula and push up.
It's not hard.
Okay.
Because you have the momentum, the leverage.
Yeah, and you're using your body. Like, I moved with her. It's not like I was like pushing her with just my hands.
But try that pelvic thing of pushing down. It's going to make you feel like getting up if you do that.
Yeah, even just that. Okay. Then another thing you can do before having her actually sit up, if you wanted to get some weight bearing into the affected side, is have her come up just halfway and rest on her forearm. So Ashley, can you rest with your elbow bent on your forearm like this? Okay. So we're gonna come up just halfway. All right. And so she's getting weight bearing in, and then I could have her start to prepare her ADLs, like her grooming tools and whatnot. So all of your stuff is over here. Can you grab this for me over here? Okay, and you can hand it to me back here, and we'll rest on the bed. And so she's getting some weight bearing in before we do any activities.
Would you be keeping a hand on her affected scapula to make sure that it stays protracted?
I could be. Yeah, I could be. Supporting it, supporting her anyway, making sure that she's not gonna
And
fall
usually,
at all
if you're approximated like that, if you have the head of the humerus and the glenoid fossa and you're approximated, you're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
And also, just to note too, if you have like a movable bed, like in a hospital, you have hospital beds that go up and down, you may want to do the whole rolling and sitting up thing with the bed a little bit higher to protect your own back. And then once she's up, lower it so that her feet can be placed on the ground to go into transfers.
So when you were doing this and helping her up, and I'm going to do it from this side so you can see it. Just go in your forearm like this. Yeah. So again, I'm going to push here, and maybe I just need to do this here, and I'm just lightly touching. Maybe I don't need to give that much. So only give, remember, only give what we need to give, But when Laura was helping, she wasn't reaching under the axilla, she was reaching through under there to get the scapula.
So you can be behind the patient or in front of the patient?
It's probably the best to be, I'm showing you behind, probably the best to be in front because you don't want them to fall.
Right.
Unless you really knew that patient, and let's say you were on the mat table in the clinic and you were working on something. But if you don't know them well and it's getting out of bed, you want to be in front of them, just to guard their fall. Okay.
So I'll show you now, she was transferring and rolling onto her unaffected side. So in this case, I'm gonna bend this leg for her. And then Ashley, I'm gonna have you use this arm. I want you to reach across and grab your other hand, okay? So grab your hand. And interlace your fingers through this side.
Well, she knows how to do that, right?
Yeah. So you're gonna have them interlace the stronger hand through the affected side, and then the affected thumb is gonna go on top. So affected thumb is on top, and the reason we're doing that is to preserve that web space in between, to keep the thumb abducted, okay? And so we're having her do this for a couple reasons. One is just for symmetry and using the the affected side as much as possible. You always want to use the affected side as much as possible. But also we want to make sure that the affected side is coming with us so that it's not getting left behind when she rolls and it's stretching out that shoulder joint. Okay? So Ashley, I'm going to have you use your strong arm to throw your momentum this way as we're rolling, okay? And I'm going to hold you right here, all right? So on the count of 3, we're going to roll. 1, 2, 3.
And Ashley, if you hold your arms up like this, a little higher, it'll help you, direct you, yeah. And now come over towards Laura. There you go, you got it.
Okay, and so the same thing with the legs now. Ashley, can you take your stronger side and just interlace it with your weaker and bring it forward towards me? Very nice, as much as you can. And so now she has her stronger side on the bottom, so she can actually use her stronger side to push up a bit more as she's able to. But if she needs help, I can help her as well. And she's up, and then once she's up, you want to always be seated or near the affected side in case she starts to tip over or loses her balance at all. Okay?
So when you demonstrate this on a last you get on that affected side immediately after, okay? You want to show me that you know that, okay? That you're going to protect the affected side all the time, because I've had people in clinic sitting perfectly well, fine, and then all of a sudden, so remember, when you get them on the back, gather all your supplies and have them near you first, because you don't want to leave them. So, let's go